Hey there, Russ here. Welcome back to the shop. Okay, hope you brought your coffee. We're going to talk about a Zyliss Vise. It's a particular brand. They've been out there, I don't know for how long, but I call this vise the Swiss Army knife of vices. It does so many different things you can't believe it. I'll leave a link to the demo so you can go look at one of the demos of this thing, what all it does. I can't begin to show you everything it does here. Or if I tried it, you'd have 16 hours of watch time as opposed to they do it in like 8-10 minutes. So go watch it. It's well worthwhile, and it gives you an eye-opener of what this thing really does, because it does so many different things. So I've also made a couple of modifications to mine since I've got it, and I thought I'd share those with the other Zyliss users so that if they like it, maybe they can use these ideas on their vise when they get, if they have one. So first, let's take a quick review of what this thing is. One of the modes you can put it in is called flat. I call it the flat tabletop mode. So you can put it on this way. I got the handle on this hand, but I can put this thing in many different formations. I can put it with these jaws up instead of these jaws by flipping it this way, or I can flip it this way and put the handle at this end, or the handle at this end, for many of them. So anyway, I have it set up to go this way for now. The demo shows you how to do all these things in detail, and I'm just going to snug it down. And this brings me to my first enhancement I did to this unit, and that is these little things that wing nuts that you have to tighten this down on the tabletop ledge, because you're fastening this to the edge of a tabletop is what you're doing. So, and the pitches is in between, but this wing nut is really hard, especially on these old hands. That's hard to turn. So I made myself a little cheetah bar. So, and it just goes on there like that. That gives me more leverage all the way out to here. So now it doesn't take much effort to tighten that down. Whereas from here, tightening it that hard would take a lot of pressure from my hand. So, and I do have the close encounter mode out here on the one end, so that you put it out here, so that if you've got a surface in here close, the wing nut's sticking out. So if the wing nut will turn, you can use this to turn it if you need to tighten it down still. So it's pretty handy. It hasn't failed me, and it's been a good addition to my Zyliss for when I move it. Sometimes I need to use this. It's that simple. So that was the first improvement I have made to it. So as far as using it here, now that I have this in place, to use it, you can just simply move the jaw quick and easily to where you think you want it. Bring it up, snug, and tighten it down, and your piece is tight. If you want it on your tabletop, you can move it out here, set it on your table, slide it in until it's just on the very edge of the vise. Bring the vise down and snug it down against the corners, and that will hold it without it slipping, and you have the downward pressure of the tabletop still. So these jaws don't rack when you do it like this, with this out here on the end like a regular face vise might. These things stay pretty much straight, so it will hold this piece and not allow it to pop out. That's one of the things I really like about this vise. And again, the dimensions of it, oh, it doesn't matter. So we'll put it this way instead, and boom, I'm locked down here. So now I want to move it to this way. I can quickly and easily put it in this way. So the vise does so many things. You got to watch the demo. If you're not intrigued at all, I'd be amazed. But once you see the demo, you'll be hooked on one of these things. I've had mine for a little over 3 years, I think, and I've used it lots and lots in a lot of different places, different things, different places. I've moved around the shop, tried it in different environments. Right now, for the last year or so, it's been sitting right here, and this is where it gets its most used. This one is over on my legacy milling machine, so, and it works only on that milling machine. That's the way I use it over there. So, but I bought the full kit. When I bought my Zyliss, I bought the full kit here with all these attachments that you have here. And when you watch the demo, you'll see what those are all for. They're very handy to have. And I keep them in this cabinet close at hand. So, but the whole thing is when I bought the whole thing, that way I could do everything I want. Then I bought the second one so I could dedicate this one over to the Legacy. And this I bought really cheap, because trying to buy this piece alone, you see them now and then, but usually they're very cheap when you do. Buying the whole kit, probably in today's market, today is April 26, 2021. So today, when I looked out on eBay, I saw the price range between $140 down to $75 for the full kit. So anywhere in there is about what you probably can expect to pay most of the time. I paid about on the low end 3-4 years ago when I bought mine first one, and then this I bought this for less than $30. It was a real bargain. Otherwise I would not have bought a second one. But I thought, well, for that kind of money I could try to use it on the Legacy and see how it works, because I'm still use this all the time in my shop. This is one of my favorite vices that I have. So anyway, food for thought. That's what the first two are. Now the other enhancements are, I just super glued some pieces of wood with sandpaper on them in between here, and they're just super glued on. They'll pop off if I really want to. But I put them on there rather than having these jaws, all these removable jaws that come with them. I really haven't been happy with any of those per se. So, but I think eventually I'd like to make a jaw system for this. Probably drill a hole straight through here, have it come out on this side so the holes all line up. And then I can put my jaw, have a dowel that sticks through to hold it in place. Once they're in place and you clamp it down, they're not going to go anywhere. They'll help do the clamping. So, and then I can do different kinds of jaws. I can do some soft jaws. I can do some that will hold round objects with a V in it and that type of thing. So I'd like to put together a little jaw system for this. But for now, this thing actually is just so versatile that it just works for me when I use it. The third thing that I did, let me get this hooked up. Come on, there we go. So anyway, and the third thing I did is I got rid of, that crank. I took the crank handle off, and it has this hexagon here. This socket is what they call a spark plug socket here in America. It's a 13/16 hexagon shape on the end, so it fits over a 13/16 bolt or a socket it fits onto a spark plug. That's what these are designed for. Has a 3/4 hexagon here, so you can put a wrench on it to tighten it down. But this width here gives me lots of ability to just turn this to where I want it, so I can fast track to where I want it. And I'm ready to turn this. And if I have to turn this more than a half a turn, like with that hand crank, that takes a lot of effort to go more than a half a turn, because you got to come off, come around. And with this, I just tighten until it's good and tight. And if I want it tighter, I just squeeze it harder and tighten it more. I've never yet not had to use more than what I can do with my hand. But if I needed to, I could throw a wrench on there, or actually this handle will fit right on there. So you can still use the handle on here. But I haven't used it a lot. I think maybe once since I first did this. I found hand tightening to be a very convenient way of doing it. So this was a great improvement on this vise over this, because I can hand crank down and tighten it down as tight as I need without any problem, without needing that silly handle. So that was the third thing I did. It was a great improvement, and it's made this thing really great to use. So if you have one of these and you have something that you want to say about how you use it, let us know. Just leave it in the comments. But overall, in a heartbeat, I would buy that again tomorrow if I didn't have one, even at the high price, because to me, it would be well worth it because of all the things it does. Go watch the demo. I'm telling you, I'll leave a link to it, and you'll see. So go through some of those. If you're interested at all in the Zyliss, then go out to eBay and do a search on that Zyliss Vise and see what's out there. But I would say try to buy the whole kit. Don't buy the pieces of it, because that's a losing proposition to do it that way. And buying just a vise really does, with just the 2 pieces like this. As a general rule, it doesn't even give you a tip of the iceberg of what you can do with it. But this is well worth the price I paid for this, just for the simplicity of what I can do with it. So, but the whole kit is well worth it. Let me tell you. So, but by having 2 of them in one kit, I can use it on both of them. So, at this point, I get 2 vices for. I only had to buy one full bore one. So, anyway, I'm rambling. I wanted to introduce this vise. Gary from Lundgren Crafts. It's another channel out there, YouTube channel. I'll leave a link to it in my description. But he asked me about the vise. He said he doesn't use his much. And I want to thank him for the inspiration, because the more I thought about it, the more I decided, yeah, this is something I probably should talk about, because I take it for granted anymore. But I do. I use this thing every day, all the time. Don't even think about it most of the time. So, unless I move it. Then I go, where did it go? I need it back. So, it's very handy to have right here. And this is where I usually do most of my work. And so, this is very handy to have right here off to the side like this. And I can take it, bring it right here if I want to in just a couple of minutes. And that's what I like about it, is that you can put it wherever you need to do whatever it is you want to do at that moment. So, the Swiss Army knife, it's worth it. So, if you have any questions, just leave them down below. If you learned something here, you like this video, hit that like button. It lets me know that I'm doing something right. Most importantly, though, bring your cup of coffee, but please come back, because I'm nowhere near done. Thanks, and we'll see you guys again very soon.